What is this? So Gypsy Rose Blanchard has chosen to collab with Natalie Reynolds. Who is Natalie Reynolds, you ask? Oh, she's just known for coercing a mentally ill homeless woman to jump into a lake for $20 who couldn't swim and then running away as she's trying to come up for air. She is also known for incessantly copying other content creators on their videos that go viral, but more specifically, content creator Brooke Monk. Brooke has 45 million followers, and Natalie literally copies every single one of her videos. She is also known for her very controversial takes or her rage bait content, where she recently posted a video about how she loves ice, putting her hair in cornrows to try to rage bait the African American community. Whatever she can do to get views and to go viral, she's gonna post. So honestly, it's not surprising to me whatsoever that she would ask Gypsy Rose Blanchard to do a collab with her, but it is shocking to me that Gypsy would choose to collab with her. But like this, embarrassing. Wonder how Ken's gonna feel about that.
I'm not even gonna ease into this. This whole collab is weird in a way that feels intentional. Not quacky weird, not oh, that's unexpected, calculated weird. Because the second this showed up, it already felt like one of those setups where you can tell what the goal is before anyone even speaks. You look at them together and it doesn't click on a normal level. It doesn't feel like two people who naturally connect. It doesn't feel like a genuine link up, and it definitely doesn't feel accidental. It feels arranged. And once you stop trying to make it make sense as a normal collab and look at it for what it actually is, two people meeting right in the middle of controversy, attention, and easy engagement, it clicks instantly. This was never random. But if you really want to understand why this collab feels so off, you have to start with Natalie Reynolds, because Natalie Reynolds' whole online pattern already tells the story. Natalie Reynolds is not just controversial in the casual internet way where somebody says something dumb and it trends for a day. Natalie Reynolds' world runs on reaction, the kind of content that makes you stop mid-scroll, frown, and go, what is wrong with this? The Lex situation is the clearest example of that. That did not blow up because it was funny or entertaining. It blew up because it was disturbing to watch. You don't forget something like that. That kind of moment sticks and it builds a reputation that follows you everywhere. Then you add everything else on top of that. Natalie Reynolds copying bigger creators. Natalie Reynolds chasing whatever is already going viral. Natalie Reynolds posting things that feel designed to irritate people on purpose. None of it is subtle. Natalie Reynolds moves like somebody who understands that people being mad still counts as engagement. Because Natalie Reynolds' brand is not built on being liked, it is built on being watched. That is a huge difference. One gets you support, the other gets you noise. Natalie Reynolds has very clear chosen noise.
Gypsy Rose is not only doing photos with the youngins, she is now collabing with them. That's right, Gypsy Rose is collabing with them young 20-year-olds, one of them being Natalie Reynolds. If you don't know who Natalie Reynolds is, she does a lot of different trends. I followed her for a minute. She's also the youngin who talked that homeless lady into jumping in that lake for $20 when she couldn't swim. When the lady was struggling, talking about, I can't swim, help, Natalie ran off. And Natalie is the one who hit Gypsy up in her comments and was like, let's collab, queen. And well, Gypsy jumped on that, honey. Everybody can make excuses and say Gypsy taking pictures with these youngins wasn't weird. They were out on Bourbon Street. Gypsy choosing to go and collaborate with people fucking 10, 15 years younger than her is weird as fuck, because we ain't seen her collab with anybody her own damn age. So the only time she even does collabs is if she's being given something. You best believe that she knows she's getting something out of this. All Natalie Reynolds' little young followers are gonna see Gypsy collabing with Natalie. They're gonna run over there to that murderer and boost her fucking ego. Told y'all the other day, she's using that younger generation not only to keep her pockets lined, but it gives her ego stroke. She gets people who are gonna gas her up, and she gets to look like this well put together person. That's her parasitic nature. All she's doing by collabing with Natalie is fulfilling another agenda. She's targeting the younger generation. I don't know how people don't see it, but she knows that's the only people she can fool, and that's not all alleged, that's facts. She did that shit. She murdered her mom. She handed that dude the knife. She walked him down the hallway to commit that murder and then went into the bathroom and listened to him stab her mom, her yell for help, and gurgle. Gypsy Rose sat there listening and shaving her fucking legs. She did that shit.
This is really where Gypsy Rose gives the whole game away, because Gypsy Rose choosing Natalie Reynolds tells you way more than the collab itself ever could. Out of everybody, Gypsy Rose could have attached herself to, this is the pick, Not somebody neutral, not somebody safe, not somebody that makes Gypsy Rose look grounded or serious for once. No, Gypsy Rose goes straight for Natalie Reynolds. And that matters because Natalie is not just some random creator with a little bit of mess around her. Natalie already comes with backlash attached to her name. Natalie already comes with controversy. Natalie already comes with a reputation that people do not shrug off and forget 5 minutes later. So no, that is not an innocent collab choice. That is a very loud choice because let's be real, if Gypsy Rose was truly focused on rebuilding her image, claiming calming things down or trying to look even slightly more stable online, Gypsy would not be walking directly into Natalie Reynolds' brands for chaos. People do not run headfirst into that kind of mess by accident. They do it when they already know the mess is useful. And honestly, that fits Gypsy Rose way too well right now. Gypsy Rose is not posting like somebody who is just casually updating followers anymore. Gypsy Rose is moving like somebody who has fully decided she wants to be an influencer and not even in a subtle way. The travel clips, the little routine moments, the soft presentation, the whole carefully packaged, just living life vibe. It is all curated, very curated, like aggressively curated, while still trying to look effortless, which is always a little funny when you can see the fingerprints all over it. So, when Gypsy Rose links up with Natalie Reynolds, it does not come off like bad judgment by itself. It comes off like Gypsy Rose knows exactly what Natalie Reynolds brings to the table. Attention, backlash, conversation, easy traction. Basically all the ingredients of a mess that will travel. That is why this collab feels so telling. Gypsy Rose did not accidentally end up next to Natalie. Gypsy picked Natalie because Natalie makes noise. And right now, noise clearly works for Gypsy too.
We listen and we don't judge. One time I dared a homeless woman $20 to jump into a lake and then she said she couldn't swim and I ran away laughing. We don't judge.
We don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge.
I went to prison for 8.5 years because my own mom.
Oh my God.
Hey, we listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. I really like to cup my hand and fart in my hand because I like to smell my fart because I just think it smells really good. Even when I like fart in the bed sheets, I like to lift up the bed sheets and smell my fart.
We don't judge.
We don't judge around here. We listen and we don't judge.
I wear wigs because I bleached my hair off.
Oh. Is it like short underneath?
Yeah, it's a pixie. This is a wig, actually.
Oh, okay. We listen and we don't judge.
From there, nothing about this looks accidental anymore. The way Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds are posting, the tone, they lean into it, the trends they pick, even how they frame certain moments, it all reads like it's built to pull a reaction out of people. Not, do you like this energy? More like, you're gonna have an opinion whether you want it or not. It's the kind of content that interrupts your scroll. You pause, you squint, you feel a type of way, and before you even think about it, you're in the comments. You're sending it to somebody else. Have you seen this? That's the loop. And you can tell it's intentional because of how inconsistent it is. It's not one random post that blew up. It is the same kind of reaction being pulled again and again, just dressed up a little differently each time. Even when something is presented softer, like it's trying to smooth things over or make everything feel lighter, it still hits the same nerve. People don't relax, they react. They question it, they pick it apart. It still turns into conversation every single time. That kind of consistency does not just happen. That's design. And it doesn't look like Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds are trying to stay away from backlash. It looks like they are testing how far they can lean into it without completely losing control of the narrative.
The other day, Gypsy Rose Blanchard posted that she was going on a trip and she was getting on an airplane. I think she posted it on her story. Anyways, today I woke up and we found out where she is going. She is with none other than the disgusting content creator, Natalie Reynolds. If you don't know who Natalie Reynolds is, let me remind you.
There's a scanner that you need to look for in the water.
Really?
Yeah.
What if I drown?
Then
I haven't been in the water. What is
you said you want to jump in.
I do kind of want to jump in.
Let me pause right here because that lady did not know how to swim and I think she almost drowned, if I'm not mistaken, and they were just sitting there laughing.
Huh?
And I'm scuba certified. You should jump in.
All right.
And I think if you jump in, you'll be able to find the scanner.
Scanner?
Yeah, there's a scanner that's in the water over here. That's why I'm here.
Okay, and I can't jump.
She actually ended up getting arrested and went to jail for that video. As if Gypsy Rose Blanchard isn't already big-headed enough with her ego, I'm pretty sure that she's a little bit bigger now. With that being said, I think it's disgusting. Of course, Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds would get together. Go figure. I'm not surprised by any means. But Gypsy Rose fully believes she's a content creator. Let me show you this. This was a video on her IG of her vlog video, and it says travel with me as a content creator. And she doesn't say anything in the video, but she goes on and, you know, goes in the bathroom, does her skincare, goes and gets her pajamas, gets in the bed, and blah, 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 blah. Natalie Reynolds ended up going super viral, like I said, and now she has a large platform here on TikTok and probably other places with millions of followers. So, like I said, I just think Natalie Reynolds in general is quite disgusting. I remember when the video went viral, and of course, GRB is who she is, and we all know what that is. But anyways, of course they would get together, and Gypsy thinks she is just a celebrity and a content creator, and they are doing a collab. I want to throw this in here real quick because Gypsy posted it 1 minute ago, and you know, look at the caption. I had to turn off the song because they would have been copyrighted it, but the song is Shake It by whoever that is, I can't remember, but ew.
And this is the part that makes Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds look even more calculated, because you can tell they are not reaching sideways. Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds are reaching down into younger, louder, way more reactive crowd, and that changes the whole read of this collab. These are not random creator friendships forming naturally. Gypsy and Ryan and Natalie Reynolds are stepping into spaces where the audience moves fast, reacts fast, reposts fast, and turns one weird little moment into a full-blown online event before the day is even over. That matters because a younger audience does not need much to get something moving. Give them one awkward clip, one strange caption, one collab that already feels off, and suddenly it is everywhere. Now it is clipped. Now it is reposted. Now people are arguing in the comments. Now reaction pages are picking it up. Now it is back on everybody's timeline again because nobody can resist staring at the mess when it is packaged like entertainment. And let's be real, that kind of audience is useful when you want is motion. They are not sitting around carefully weighing the ethics of every little thing first. They react first, they click first, they comment first, they feed the moment before they fully process the moment. That is internet gold for anybody building themselves through controversy and visibility. That is why this does not feel like Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds bonding or connecting or just randomly crossing paths. It feels like access. It feels like Gypsy and Natalie walking into a louder room on purpose because they already know that even negative attention from a younger crowd still spreads fast. It still boosts visibility and it still keeps their names moving. The thing about a setup like this is getting attention is actually the easy part. That's not the hard part at all. Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds can absolutely get people staring. That part was never in doubt. Put those two names together, add some weird energy, throw it online, and of course people are going to look. That was basically guaranteed. The harder part is controlling where that attention goes once it starts moving, and that is where this whole thing starts looking a little bit embarrassing. Because people do not react in neat little lines, they do not show up, follow the script, and give you the exact response you are probably hoping for. Once the audience gets hold of something, it goes wherever it wants. People focus on whatever stands out most to them. People latch onto the weirdest detail. People start comparing the two. People start noticing the imbalance. People start noticing who looks more comfortable, who looks more performative, who looks like they're trying too hard, and suddenly the collab is telling on itself. That is what starts happening here. The attention does not land cleanly on Gypsy Rose the way Clouty little collab like this probably hoped it would. Some of it starts turning into comments about Natalie Reynolds' looks, Natalie Reynolds' presence, Natalie's taken over the moment, while Gypsy Rose is just kind of there, which is honestly a little grimly funny, because if this was supposed to boost Gypsy Rose and make Gypsy Rose look plugged into this younger influencer crowd, it also opened the door for Gypsy Rose to get outshined inside her own little stand.
Oh, Gypsy. You wanted to collab with Natalie Reynolds. I mean, I think Natalie commented on your stuff first, and you thought you'd be helping her out. You thought she wanted to use you for clout because you have 3 million more followers than she does. So how does it feel that most of those comments are for Natalie? Telling her how beautiful she is, this, that. I mean, she's commenting her. She's starting the comments. I've got a clip of her. She commented to herself, Natalie, you're so beautiful. And it was her own comment. And then she comments back to herself. That's a whole new level of woohoo. But that explains the collab. But anywho, she also gets a lot of bots saying, oh, I'll follow anybody who likes this comment. I need followers. But the positive ones that are there are all for Natalie. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I love it for you. I really love it for you, Gyp. And I love it for Aurora, too. because the best thing for Aurora is to spend time away from you. And that's been happening a lot lately, so go Aurora.
And then the energy gets even weirder because some of the engagement does not feel natural. It feels pushed. It feels like everybody involved wants the moment to hit harder than it actually is. Like they're standing there waiting for the internet to scream, OMG, iconic. And instead, a lot of people are just side-eyeing the whole thing and asking why this collab exists in the first place. That is when a collab stops being useful and starts becoming revealing, because now it is not just pulling attention. Now it is exposing the dynamic underneath. It starts showing who wanted what out of this, who benefits more, who looks awkward, who looks thirsty, and who thought this was going to land a lot cleaner than it did. People catch that quickly, probably quicker than Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds expected. On top of all of this, Gypsy Rose has been rebuilding her whole online image right in front of everybody. And honestly, she has not exactly been subtle about it. You can see Gypsy Rose trying to slide out of one identity and into another in real time. The travel posts, the little routine clips, the soft presentation, the polished, just taking you guys along with me energy. It is all very deliberate. It is meant to feel light and effortless, but it does not really come off effortless when you see how carefully it is being packaged. It feels curated. It feels managed. It feels like Gypsy Rose wants to look less like somebody surrounded by non-stop controversy and more like somebody who belongs in influencer spaces doing cute little content creator things. That is what makes this part so obvious. Gypsy is not casually posting anymore. Gypsy is posting herself. She's shaping a version of herself that looks softer, more polished, more marketable, more normal. Even while the actual choices around that image keep dragging the whole thing right back into mess. And that is where it starts getting a little ridiculous, because you cannot build this soft, polished influencer vibe on one side and then keep attaching yourself to attention-hungry controversy on the other side and expect people not to notice that disconnect. That is like spraying body mist over a house fire and calling it a rebrand. So when Gypsy Rose's carefully managed image sits right next to collabs like this, it stops looking like a temporary phase or some random experimenting online, and it starts looking like Gypsy Rose has picked a lane, and the lane is very clearly influencer by way of chaos. Like, okay, got it. That's the brand now. By this point, Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds are not just happening to attract controversy on the side. The controversy is the machine. It is the thing dragging this whole little collab along and keeping it alive. Because let's be honest, if Gypsy and Natalie were posting regular, harmless, forgettable content together, nobody would care this much. People are not sticking around because the content is just so amazing and magnetic on its own. People are sticking around because something about it feels off, messy, irritating, shameless, or just plain weird enough to make them stop and react. And that reaction is exactly what keeps paying this whole thing forward. Every comment helps, every repost helps, every reaction video helps. Every person dragging Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds in the comments still helps push the moment further. Even people showing up just to side eye it are still feeding it. That is the part people love to pretend is not true, but it is. Outrage has way more energy than quiet support ever will. Quiet support is cute. Quiet support is polite. Quiet support minds its business. Outrage does not. Outrage screenshots. Outrage reposts. Outrage quote posts. Outrage pulls other people in. Outrage turns one awkward collab into a bigger spectacle than it ever deserved to be. That is why Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds keep landing in this exact kind of reactive space, not once, not by coincidence, repeatedly, because whether they admit it or not, controversy is doing the promotional work for them. So no, I do not buy this as accidental mess that just keeps following Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds around like some bad little cloud. It looks used. It looks leaned into. It looks like Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds already know that if people are angry enough, confused enough, or annoyed enough, the content will keep moving anyway. So when you step back and look at the full picture, it really is not hard to read. This is a calculated link up between Gypsy and Natalie, two people who clearly understand that being talked about is its own currency online. Natalie already lives in controversy. Gypsy is stepping deeper into it. So no, this is not some harmless random collab. This is a clout play. And the ugliest part is that Gypsy Rose and Natalie Reynolds pushed it just far enough for everybody to see exactly what they were doing.